Good morning, everybody. I wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about conceptual questions versus multiple choice questions because I received a lot of emails this weekend and I understand your concerns. And I want to just clarify a few things about these concepts. And then in the next video after this, I'll actually do 4 examples of finals-like questions that we'll work through together so that you're comfortable with the process. And that you're really comfortable making sure that you express all the knowledge you have about these topics. So we love concepts. In nursing, this is primarily the way that most of the curriculum is angled because there's too much to know about every single diagnosis that you're going to encounter. So what we look at is we look at concepts that really determine a lot of the concepts that we discussed earlier, which is like we do the assessment, then we do the diagnosis, et cetera, et cetera. We look at common themes, which give us a pretty good idea of what's going on. We look at Maslow's, so we look at like the physical needs first, and then we look at safety, and then we keep going until we look at like the psychological needs. So we rank things that way. And all of these conceptual thoughts are even demonstrated in the way we organize differential diagnoses. So we love conceptual questions. They can seem scary because there is no possibility that you'll accidentally get it right. So with conceptual questions, this is important. You can't fake it. And that's great, actually, because for the most part at this level, people have enough information to be able to put something there. And with multiple choice questions, you may have zero idea and you're stuck in a position where you have to literally guess with no information. And so that's not good. So no info guessing is a big part of multiple choice questions. So we won't be doing that anymore. So you can't fake it. But what's good about not faking it is that the actual answer is a narrative. And because it's a narrative answer, it's not A, B, C, D, you can really have the freedom to write what you do know about the topic. You can talk about little things that were relevant to you. And as you're writing, as you're going through this question and answer process kind of with yourself, you'll remember little parts of the question that maybe didn't immediately spring to your mind. So it's helpful because it's somewhat of an iterative process. Conceptual questions are also great for people who don't have immediate recall memory of things like multiplication tables, which I'm terrible at, or algorithms, right? So if you're not an algorithms person, which I am not, then conceptual questions are wonderful because you won't need that memorization skill. In practice, we all know that you don't necessarily have to have the milligram dosage memorized because you will have access to your smartphone with all the information on it. But nothing will ever absolve you as a nurse of the need to actually conceptually break down what it is that's presenting in your office. So that's great for non-memorizers like me. And unlike the multiple choice questions, the way you study for conceptual questions is very different because over here, we love algorithms and numbers, right? So this study is just memorizing. And multiple choice questions are really, they're difficult to write. So the majority of them are focused on just simple recall answers. And at the level that you guys are at, you're really beyond just simple recall answers. And most of the time when I talk to people, they have very good logical reasons why they chose the question that they did, but they still got it wrong. Because for multiple choice, you are right or you are wrong. When we do conceptual questions, most of those of you who met with me and went to my office hours had really good justification for why you made the decisions that you did. You don't get credit for that in a multiple choice test, but you do get credit in the conceptual questions because if I can see, and Dr. Hamilton can see, your logical thought process, and it is logical and it does make sense, and we understand your perspective, then it's very difficult to not give you any points. So I think you'll find that the conceptual questions that we go over in the next video may actually be a little more fun and not necessarily less challenging, but less intimidating to approach, just based on the huge amount of knowledge that you've gleaned from this class. So that's it for this video, but stay tuned for the next one, and I'll put up 4 or 5 examples and we'll work through them so that you're really comfortable going into the final.